This video is about using the Explorer in GINT Civil Tools. To open the Explorer, you use the icon here found in the Geotechnical ribbon. I have pinned it to my right side of my GINT Civil Tools window. The Explorer will show any data that you have mapped to and imported in your latest query for GINT Civil Tools from GINT. So for this example, showing the database connectivity and mapping, I have imported borehole and lithology. These other items are mapped, but I am not including them in the query, so they are not included in my Explorer at this time. With the Explorer, you can explore, isolate, and review information you have in GINT Civil Tools. So if I click on borehole, all of my boreholes are now highlighted or selected. If I right-click, I can isolate, and any other element I've imported will be not removed but cleared off visually. I can also clear my isolate, get details, and so this is actually a comprehensive listing of anything that I've imported into GINT Civil Tools from GINT. And I had mapped additional information from my table. So all of this information is in GINT Civil Tools. Additionally, I can highlight it all and copy it, and even paste the information into Excel for further analysis. I can do this with any details table that I have isolated and highlighted in GINT Civil Tools. Clearing out my selection. Also, if I click down, you can see I have every element that I've imported in this Explorer. So I can actually select one, and I can isolate this, and then I can zoom to that isolate item. You can see here, I see where it's located with information. I can select the details for that one item, and I can also go to properties, and you see the specific information for that borehole. If I were to click on borehole and select properties, you can see that anything that's consistent across the borehole, or all the elements that I've imported, is listed, such as the source. But anything else is listed as being varies because it varies by each borehole. Now I can clear the isolate and zoom out a little bit. I'm going to pan around. And I can do the same thing, as I said, with anything I've imported into a table in GINT Civil Tools. So if I do the same thing with lithology, here you can see I click on it and all the items are selected. I can open it up or expand it, and you can see I have each material type that I've imported. So if I were to select silty sand, I have just my silty sand layers selected. I can list the details of that information. I can go to the properties of that information. I think the details for me might be a little bit more helpful. You can see a list of all the boreholes with that information, as well as each description and the depth and bottom depth. I can click on individual entities as well. I can list the details and see where maybe that one's located. Besides the Explorer, I can also select individual elements. And so here I've selected a lithology layer, maybe one that I'm interested in. And if I were to select or click on the properties, and there's two ways to access the properties. Here you can see the little eye, and I can select the properties, and here you can see the information about the lithology layer that I have selected. It's a well-graded gravelly sand. You can see it is an HB2 with a depth of 6.5 and a bottom depth of 17, and the description. So there are many ways to review and analyze data inside of GINT Civil Tools.